All right, we're live after a lot of technical problems to get on here, and only two of us have been able to make it in here. All right, now we're going to cover first. We're going to cover the anime, and then we're going to cover the chapter. So, anime 133. I want to throw out a couple of things here real quick. Now, I want to spend a lot of time on the chapter if we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, the big thing, which they keep saying it. I mean, I've sat there and I was like, do I say it or do I not about why everything is going on? But they keep talking about the nukes. They keep showing over and over the nukes, the skeletal alarm, the whole. It's fallout. It's radiation sickness. That's what's going on. These chimera are they're the highest point of evolution, but they're not their molecules, right? They're not, you know, proof against nuclear bombs and stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what they were, and they were deeply radiated. Okay.
Yeah, they was pretty much in the middle of.
They were, but it also explains why, in the previous episode, that Knuckles and Melaron had to be knocked out quickly. Because if they would have had some long, close-up discussion with the King or or Poof or Yuppie, then it would have created an issue, because you'd go, well, wait a minute, if they're so nuclear radiated, then how can they be around them without getting sick themselves, right?
Yeah.
So that was like a loophole or whatever that evidently Tagashi just didn't want to have. So it's like, okay, let's knock him out quick, get him out of the way, and then he doesn't even stay in the same room with him, right? He's going walking all around trying to find clues, the King, as to why, you know, he's got this feeling that there's stuff that he needs to remember.
Yeah, trying to get his memory back.
Exactly, and then he finds the Marshall piece, and then but he can see an arm, but he can't see a face. So he doesn't have a face and a name yet, right? So he's that much closer. Okay, and then the whole thing with the Ikago and Wolfen, which I really liked. I'm really shocked, Sean, because you remember that whole scene that was between them before when he couldn't kill that guy. He was
With the gun, right?
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna, you know, he's gonna build himself up. I'm gonna kill this guy. And he's like, he's
Fail.
He failed. He couldn't do it. And he's crying because he's like, I can't protect my, I'm letting people down. And in reality, it's a good thing because that was actually one of his partners, right?
Yeah.
From
Yeah,
before.
that pretty much explains it.
Yeah, so it worked out pretty well. But I like that. I like that whole conversation. I mean, it was kind of sad in a way because, like, I remember your name, but I'll probably never know what my name was. And that whole thing, he really flipped Wolfen around, to being full blown, to back to kind of the human, part of it. That worked out pretty well. And then the whole Wolfen and Yuppie scenario is, I mean, Yuppie was already coughing, right? When he flagged him.
Yeah, they should have showed that fight. Or a little fight at least.
Something, right? But well, I mean, jumping ahead, Well, anyway, I'll try not to jump ahead too much, but we'll probably see a little bit more about what happened. But so he's coughing and he's little now, Yuppie, and Wolfen is already pissed. He's like, the enemy, and he calls him back. He's got his rockets, the whole thing. So Ikago had really flipped him around, Wolfen all the way around, and that worked pretty good. And Poof said that six sevenths of them they gave to the King, and that's what he did. So I'm assuming that's the same thing as Yuppie. That's why they're so weak now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, Yuppie, he's permanently small, right? Because Poof can go back to himself normally.
No, they're both. Well, Poof can make him. He can look like a full person, but he's still 6/7 of what he was. Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Yuppie may have actually gave more of himself, because Poof still had clones everywhere else, right? At the time he was giving part of himself to the King, so he may.
Yeah.
So Yuppie may have actually just simply given a lot more of himself to the king.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I understand. All right.
I'm guessing. That's just my kind of my guess. So that was,
It makes sense in that way
and that
because
would be Yuppie.
we seen Poof like he was already scattered as he is, and well, I think Yuppie liquefied himself. Uh,
Yeah, and just yeah, he just stripped himself into the king there.
yeah. All right.
Let's see. Or I want to say something before I get to Palm. It's something about Octi and Wolfen. Something else I want to go in here. But anyway, so Palm. Then we get to the discussion we were talking about before we get this started. Is the anime went pretty good, and then we got hey, Palm sees that because she can still see Poof, so she sees Poof has seen Yuppie's dead, and then she's like, okay, we're safe. Now this is where problems start happening
Yeah.
because they slow everything down, and now we're talking about, hey, let's talk about, yes, the guards can still be. Tagashi's like covering material. I mean, he's good about explaining stuff, but it's like we're past this. We're already, we're past the whole thing about the guards being loyal, but in their own way, right? And some of them not liking humans, and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And the human DNA. So to me, we're kind of past that. And then the big problem is she seems to know. She knows they're dying, right? The king's gonna die. He's gonna. So she either knows that how. She knows that because she's been watching Yuppie and the rest of them. I mean, I don't think she has audio, right? I think she just has vision.
Yeah. Just only vision out of what her two eyes and the crystal ball on the
Yeah.
forehead.
Okay, and this really gets us to it. So, she was told beforehand that Netero had a bomb in his chest, an atomic bomb in his chest. I don't think so. Why would she need to know that?
It's either they probably explained it to the four people that went in to the country, or she probably seen that event happening before.
Well,
So I guess that's a reminder.
well, yeah. I don't. You mean like she's seen radiation sickness or something before? Or,
Like she probably saw how the bomb went off and with the flower and the radiation.
she saw Yuppie.
For
Yeah. So okay, I can buy that. So when Yuppie was helping the king, she was watching then. She could
yeah,
have seen that whole chain
cause
of events.
she seen Poof before. Cause remember when she got captured, she seen
Yes.
Poof. So she probably seen Poof and the king and Yuppie together in that radiation area.
All right. Well, I think you and Togashi thinks you because it was looking like a plot hole or something to me there for a bit. So okay, that works. Which would be pretty crazy for Togashi. Let me see. That's really about it. Unless there's I mean there's more stuff we can talk about in the anime if you want to.
Yeah. And at the end, they was talking about, well, Palm was talking about getting to negotiate but stall at the same time, and they
Yes.
was gonna wait till the king dies, and that's when it explains, well, how did she know the king gonna die? So it looked like she probably seen that event happening before. That's to
Right.
my knowledge.
Right. So so I like it. I like what you're saying. So she saw Poof. She's got an idea of what's the radiation sickness and stuff that's going on. Um, once again, there was something else I was going to think of. It slipped my mind again. Oh, here we go. Well, anyway, this is one of the things. Is have you noticed how this chapter they're trying to kind of they're bringing the Chimera down from being this threat that people need to hate and fear to now kind of empathize with them, with the Chimera. So yeah, I mean, it's real. I'm not saying it's subtle, but it's setting things up, right?
Yeah.
To look at the Chimera more and feel empathy, sympathy for them. So that was something. This just happens to go from knowing what I'm not going to say, but knowing what's going on forward is that they're setting things up for that. And the whole thing
So,
about
so
bug, yeah.
you're saying that there's gonna be a Chimera Ant Part 2 in the
No,
future?
no, 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 no. I don't even want to. No, no. That's no. I'm saying what's in the rest of this arc that me and you have already read. I'm just
Oh,
saying it's setting up them so we have more empathy. But anyway, so that's I guess that's about it. Like I said, there's more stuff we can do there. I really there's actually a lot of stuff in the Chicago Wolf and stuff, but I enjoyed it a lot. I guess there's not a whole lot to talk about.
yeah, it was an enjoyable chapter. It was just I was a little sketchy with some things that's happening, but I
Yeah,
guess I cleared that up.
yeah, and it wasn't nearly as good as the previous episode. So
No.
no, no, no. Like, and we can always go back to it. But okay, chapter. I've got my chapter open. Chapter 343. This was. I mean, the last of them have been talkies, right? Lots of dialogue, huh?
Yeah. No, I guess I jumped the gun. I got hyped. I thought Lario was gonna be one of the Zodiacs, but I guess not. I
No,
guess.
he is. Yeah,
Oh,
Luero is a Zodiac. Now,
oh, okay.
yeah, he's a Zodiac, and then
Oh, and
and
then he got this guy. I forgot his
yeah,
name.
he's one. He says, "Hey, yeah," because and I like the way they did it. So we can go ahead and kind of break it down. So Cheadle's talking. I hate the way Cheadle looks, but I'm interested in Cheadle's character.
You know, like,
It's Disney, doesn't it?
yeah, I understand, like a little Disney character, like a goof troop.
Look, I've been when I was a kid in Florida. Okay, I lived in Jacksonville, Florida. I went to Disney. Was it Disney World? Right, that's the one in Florida. That's what I went to. Disneyland in California. So I went to Disney World in Florida. And if I would have seen Cheadle walking around, I'd be like, okay, that is definitely some Disney character that I don't know about, but it's very Disney,
She,
right?
she looks like Goofy's sister or something.
Something like that. It could be. That's perfect too. Yeah, it could be definitely Goofy's sister, something like that. But I like the personality. I hate the way it looks, but I like the personality. And like I said, for what I don't know why, for the dumbest reason, it reminds me of the personalities of Karupika. I don't know why. It just feels that way. I don't. And it just,
Like calm and steady personality.
yeah, calm, steady, intelligent. Also, let's go ahead. Actually, since we're here, let's go ahead and get into Cheadle. And evidently, Cheadle is a doctor or has medical skills because Cheadle's going to be training him. It's wait. It never says I'm going. It says I'm going to be your trainer. It never says I'm a doctor. But evidently, Cheadle is a doctor. Because how the heck is Cheadle gonna, do that? Let me go ahead and get to the dialogue stuff and this part of it and do a little reading. So this was awesome. This chapter it was more balanced. Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue, but there's more stuff happening. And I think we're all used to the way that Togashi slowly starts his arcs, right? Builds up, makes sure that the information is out there. So I'm kind of used to it. It's like, okay, it's just going to be that way. And let's see, accomplishing.
And then it just takes a full blown blaze.
Oh, it builds up and it gets crazy. It's like some of these old style songs that would start off real slow and then he'd build up, get more powerful. That's the way his arcs are usually. It says I like the way Lorio did it. More importantly, he's like, hey, you're not going to get paid anything. It's going to be dangerous. You might die. And if you just want to get, and then it goes, because basically he just remember in the beginning, Lorio said, I'm going to become a doctor. I'm going to become rich.
Yeah.
And now he just said, F that. It says if you want to go someplace and just be rich in some nice, quiet, safe place, then turn it down. And then he's like, you know what? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Challenge me. Bring it on. Right? So really
Yeah, right there, that reverse psychology right there.
worked awesome. But hey, I made a special deal on the condition you join us. Blah blah blah. In this case, you shall be head medical. In which case, I shall be the head medical professor. So how is Cheadle going to be the head medical professor if Cheadle doesn't know medical? So evidently, like you say, evidently Cheadle is a doctor. And Cheadle's saying, hey, you will receive practical hands-on medical experience, which will be immense educational value, and you're going to earn in months what's going to be. Now, they're going to be on a boat for like, I'll probably jumping ahead, for like two months. So that's going to be a lot of interesting.
And she paid for L'Oreal's pool and everything.
Yeah, of course, it's from the Zodiacs, in the Hunter organization and all that. So that's probably not that, probably not out of her actual pocket. So we go. Yeah. This is what's interesting. Of course, the end is, hey, there's somebody else I'd like you to be. It left it hanging a little bit, but because I was thinking, gone, or does he want? Is he gonna? I wasn't sure if it was gone or I knew what Killa, but it was gone. Or Karupika. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, anyway, I was thinking also the lady with the flute.
Right, exactly. So I mean, but this is notice the transition. So we're done with that. We're kind of left hanging. I'm not sure, and then all the words. Think of all the dialogue that he's thrown at us the last 2 chapters. And we have a whole page, and there isn't one word. Right? He's got like people hanging their laundry outside. He's like outside, and then he's like the hallway.
And then there's stare down.
There's stare down, right? There's Ging, and then there's Periston, and then there's one panel with both of them looking at each other. Periston's sitting down, holding the paper, and Ging is standing up. And then. Then we get into this crazy dialogue. Okay, the beginning stuff, it goes through a whole lot of stuff. Actually, a lot of stuff is covered. Because he's showing the similarities between Ging and Periston, right?
Yeah.
Before it diverges somewhat. But he's explaining. And Ging is like, look, we're both the same this way. Once we get bored, we're just going to do something to make things happen. And he even said, he accuses Periston basically of putting Chimera in different places of the world, right? And then, pushing everything to the Dark Continent and all that, basically just because he's bored. Okay, just because Periston is bored. And you see, it kind of looks this way, and you also kind of see why Netero had to go, because Netero was against what Periston wanted to do. So the whole idea, I mean, a thing right now is how much of the Chimeras, we know that he went in and got the Chimeras, right? But who brought them over? I mean, was that queen and maybe some other queens dropped off by Periston around the world to stir things up? I don't know. So it sounds plausible. It sounds like it's something Periston would do. Okay.
Yeah, he looks like the type of person that he always look at a second option, or he always has a second and third option.
Yeah, as you said before, he's a real manipulative kind of person. He's real smart, really smart person. Okay, so it goes through, they're showing, and then we get a divergence. Okay, and then Periston. Normally, as people love and are loved, they feel happiness, right? And I like this kind of the artwork they did in here is a little bit different. This man and woman together, and then there's like a family, right? They're all happy and everything, and then we go. Then we get to this panel.
His version of happiness.
His version of happiness. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back.
Hey.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, we are live. Yeah, just kind of listen up for a little bit, and you could jump in.
All right.
And then I'm going to do the reading. So we get the panel on Periston, like the divergence, right? Okay, so they're together, Ging, Periston, how they're similar, and then Periston explains himself in depth. Okay, the panel, the doll. Remember, read it. When I am hated by people, that is when I feel happiness. And then I want to tear apart and inflict unimaginable harm to the things that I love. And this doll freaks me out even now, as many times as I've seen it. The eye torn out, arm, the doll mutilated all over, bit pieces, right, Sean? There's like a
Yeah,
broken bottle on the other side, and then a pile of razor blades, these old style razor blades with blood splatter. Whoa.
yeah, he's off the deep end.
Dude's way off the deep end. Way, way off the deep end. And then he says, and I love the panel they do here with Periston. It's kind of his face, and it's kind of like a dark cloud coming out of his eye.
Yeah, the
But,
evil side.
oh, yeah. But is that all that strange? I wonder. And then, Ging, by conventional standards, it is. But what you're talking about is completely out there. Let me tell you this, though. The part of you, this is where the part of you and I are not alike. So, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, what do you think about that part, Michael, in the chapter?
I thought he was kind of crazy.
Wait, yeah, but how? Yeah, but on a scale of 1 to 10 on nuts, I think he's maxing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pariston is yeah. Ging's a crazy guy, but he's not quite on that league. And then we get this. Okay, and then we get this thing. We get random thug wants to ask question to Ging, right? And Ging's like, go to hell. And then another random thug is like, hey, I'm going to show you my authority, right? And then Ging's like, okay, let me show you my authority. And that was it. That was pretty much that was a done deal. And as a matter of fact, for Neverworld said this moment right here with Ging, he says Ging is Yu Yu Hakusho. He says that's who this guy is because as soon as it gets on, his fists are throwing, right? It's on, absolutely.
So he looks like a brawler.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And he explains it. But the thing is get to the page where we get to the page. What panel did they show? Did they go right to Periston? They show a Periston doll, right? In the corner, sitting passively, right? With little flower.
There was something before that.
Well, yeah, there's stuff before that. We can talk about that if you want. Sure, but it's the dialogue.
Oh, no, because I was gonna say like there was like a voice in the corner, and I guess Jamie was talking to them, and then the doll appears.
Yeah, isn't the doll his Nan ability?
Well, it may be. It may be. Well, hold on. Let's look here. Okay, so Ging hears a noise after he confronts. He says, "Who's the highest ranking person here? Is it you?" Then he looks over, and the noise you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying that is his Nin ability, is that doll. Ah, so he's a puppet master of some sort, huh?
Exactly, a manipulator.
Yeah.
And you did say that before we went live, Sean. You were saying that he's a manipulator. Ah, and that was, you know what? And that would go back to the other doll, because that would be something he loved and destroyed because he was using it, as opposed to simply playing with it, right?
Yeah, it looks like
The Nan ability always reflects like some kind of traumatic event in a person's life or whatever. Not always, but it could very well be whatever is closest to him. So it could be that the doll is just like a representation of I guess maybe that broken doll.
I thought it was a representation, but if his thing creates dolls to use as a puppet master, then it would be more than that. It would be an actual his ability, his thing right there. So
Yeah.
And also, what was they also said that the inabilities or whatever they also reflect people's personalities. They seem to. They really implied that they do seem to go. Enhancers are more straightforward, and other people are more manipulative and all that kind of stuff. So interesting. Haha! Come on now, Ging-san. Number 2 would be fine with me, of course. I love this. I love this dialogue in here. This is just amazing because Ging, they're understanding each other. He says in the Ging, he's like, even if you were spewing blood or getting your head stomped in, you'd still be laughing from your stomach. And if you were to kneel, it would be from your heart. And then Pariston's panel going, and then that little music symbol below. So Pariston's like, beating Pariston would just give him what he wants, basically. Now this is where I'm confused, everybody. I need a little help on that. As of today, I'm number 2. Anyone that has a problem with that, step forward. Is Pariston saying that he's number 2 as of today, or is Ging saying, okay, Pariston, you could still be number 1?
No, that's definitely Ging. I'm pretty sure he's putting himself number 2 so that he can get Pariston in check.
Yeah, that sounds right. So so Pariston put himself in number 2 to begin with, and then Ging said, okay, I kind of understand you now and everything, so yeah. Okay, so that does make sense. All right. So
and that second part, it sounded like Jin would say something like that.
So I like this. So you guys really helped me out with this. So he's a manipulator, and he creates these dolls and stuff. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. And then we get to,
Definitely an interesting character, Pariston.
Oh!
He's kind of like a cancer inside of the good guys organization,
Yeah.
Well, like we were talking, he's similar to Ging in that he will, both him and Ging, if they get bored, they'll just cause trouble, just to have something entertaining to do. But on top of that, Pariston's got his ideas of love and pain and happiness are not in sync with everyone else's. Okay, and then and we can definitely go back because we covered a lot of stuff. If there's anything you want to cover in the anime and all that kind of stuff, we can go back. And now we get to the whole thing where the cow-looking dude rolls in, looking for Kurupika, and he rolls out, what is it? He rolls out, I'm here from the Hunter organization. Can I please have some coffee? I'll add the milk myself. So he throws out the cow. He says, you know what? I'm going to throw out the cow joke before anybody else does. I'm going to go ahead and just do it. Everybody's thinking about it. And he's like, I have special investigation authority. So he's a crime hunter, right? So his stuff is restraining people, and he has this timeout card. Hey, criminals, time out. You're going to get frozen up, right? The cross gang. So he just freezes him and sits down. You go back to huh?
That's an interesting ability that he has.
That is, but it's card. I'm suspecting that his almost everything he does will be card related, right? I'm assuming.
Like Great Island.
Well, like other kind of anime figures that they use their abilities are used through cards. I'm just guessing that that's what this guy is going to be like. And he's sitting there, I'm warning you once and not a single step. Every single time you oppose me, you shall be unable to move. Every single time. He's just, I'm going to sit here and wait, and you guys are just going to get your little time out. If you guys get out of hand. And then Kurupika comes out. And he's got a new look. He's got the suit on, right? Blending in.
He always has a new look. I think even his hair is shorter now.
Yeah, it's kind of different. It's kind of it looks different all the way over, and there's some dialogue, and of course doesn't really care because all these. This is actually there's a lot I want to explore on whether he's done. Okay, so as soon as he talks about his clan's eyes, he goes into red eye mode and he goes nuts, right?
Yeah.
So he's
doesn't have a handle on. Whenever anybody mentions his murdered comrades, he goes nuts.
Yeah, he doesn't have it worked out. Something that's been mentioned, and if you don't mind, we're going to talk about it here. Has he quit looking for the Zodiacs? Because he doesn't seem to be looking for the Zodiacs. He seems Has he gotten past this part of it with the Zodiacs? Or is he just... Huh?
I think he believes that the leader is, defeated and that he'll never be able to do anything. So, I don't think he has any desire to go after them.
Because the Phantom Troop, not the Zodiacs. Thanks. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, right? The Phantom Troop.
Phantom Troop, yeah.
Yeah. So I said, I think, he thinks that the leader, I forget his name, that he's done. He can't use Nen anymore. He's got his revenge on him, and obviously he wants to kill the rest of them, but if you remember, Gon and Killua stopped him, and they kind of told him, like, if you keep going down that dark path, you won't be able to come back.
Exactly.
So he's kind of like forcing himself to stay, away, and to keep himself on the straight and narrow, I guess. But whenever someone mentions it, he flips out.
So, but what I've noticed is he's looking for the eyes, but it doesn't seem like he's going for the Zodiacs anymore.
Yeah, he's looking for the eyes.
The Phantom Troop. I keep messing up, but anyway, yeah. So he's not going for the Phantom Troop anymore. He's going for the eyes, but he still doesn't have, as you said, he still doesn't have a handle on his anger, his emotions with that, does he?
No.
And then they know, and he's basically like, "Hey, get out of here! I don't care." And it's like, "Oh, by the way, I like how the beginning of this." Well, anyway, I'll get to this. So they go, "Okay, well, we happen to know. We were doing investigations. We weren't looking for the eyes. We were just happened to find, doing some background checks and everything else, that we know who has the eyes." So, bingo! And he goes, "It's the prince and all this business." And what I noticed is in the beginning, he was warned, Krupako warned the cow dude, "Hey, everything you say from here, you better think about what you're saying," right? Just warning you. And then at the end, he's like, "Well, I have some information for you, and you need to think about what you're saying," basically.
I tell you that reverse psychology.
Yeah, because he comes back with it. "Please take everything into account and think it over carefully." This is the law enforcement. This cow dude is the law enforcement dude. He's used to this, right? He's like, "Okay, perpetrator, listen to what I'm telling you." So we get the prince guy. Okay, now he's 2 months on a boat, right? That's what we're talking about. The Kurupika, this prince, and all these other people are going to be on this boat going to the Dark Continent, right? Or some islands close to it. So they're going to be on this boat. What's going to happen? Is he going to just kill this guy and take the eyes? Is he just going to take the eyes? Is somebody going to be able to talk to him? If Gon was there, I would think Gon could go, "Look, man, I like killed basically almost killed myself, really, to get revenge. It isn't worth it, right?" So Gon isn't there to do his talk jujitsu thing, right? So, what's going to happen? Is he going to die? Is he going to let the revenge thing keep going? Is he going to get killed? I think Kurupika is going to die if he doesn't. If he doesn't get a hold of this revenge thing, I think he's done. I really do, and he's a really good character. So I don't want to see it.
I don't know if he's going to die, but I think that God, I forget the name of the manga, the mangaka now. Who writes this again?
Togashi?
Yeah, Togashi. I think that Togashi is using Kurapika as kind of, in a way better way than Kishimoto ever could, using him as a means of, going through redemption. Like, he started him out as a good character. He made him take, a dark turn to get his revenge. Then he tried to make it like he got a handle on it. But then he's going to show him, really lose it and go full out, out of control, and to the point where, then he'll use Kurapika as, a way to show, how to really beat the darkness, Either that, or he'll make him a really tragic character, Stenin-esque, and make him go through a horrible death or something. I don't know, but
I have to be honest. Here's the four main characters. But if somebody's going to kill somebody, I can see Togashi doing it.
Yeah, it's true. But then what about Leorio? I don't know. To me, Leorio doesn't seem like he has much exposition. Leorio seems like a character that could die.
Well,
Because there's too much with Karapika. You've got too much backstory. There's too much invested in him. You know?
yeah, Leorio's like a character that out of the four characters, he definitely is the one that like seemed okay to begin with and just kind of fizzled. You know, there's not much. You know, he's like I say, he's not a secondary character, but he's not really a main character anymore. To me, he's kind of somewhere in between.
Yeah.
You know?
But he was a main character. You know?
Yeah, well, he absolutely was. He's one of the main four, but he's kind of like Karapika's buddy now. He's like his sidekick at this moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where that's at. Oh, also, let me go back. The voyage. There's a couple things I wanted to cover about what's Periston and his voyage. He said he's going to take a foreign shipping over there, and they're going to get there ahead of the Zodiacs and beyond Netero, right? And they're going to confront beyond Netero over there. Also, if you notice in the dialogue with Ging, he said he wants to stay on the good side of the V5, right? He wants to do this. He's doing illegal things, but he's making sure he's not getting caught. So I'm wondering if he's gonna also go against the Zodiacs when he gets the chance over there too, and take them on because they're with Beyond. I wonder if he's gonna try to nail them while he's over there too.
Who's going to try to go against him?
Paris. Him and some Chimera ants.
Pretty much him being a double agent.
You know, aren't you shocked that they even have 100? What did they say? 100 Chimera ants? Is that what they said?
300. I think the number was 300 or 500.
I'm shocked there's still that many alive. Like, damn.
Well, remember, Palm just got she was like one of the first ones they got, and they walked past and they said they called them grapes, human grapes, because they were still like being changed in those pods.
Oh, so you think they weren't even born until the king died?
Well, it was the timing, because remember Palm was one of the original ones, and she just popped out, right at the end during the fight. So the rest of them were still. So the rest of the pods are still going. So Periston went in and got the rest of those pods. So.
And you think he used his puppet power to subdue them or something?
I don't know, but I mean the thing is,
Well, there has to be a reason why they're working for the Hunter organization, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, but you've seen, and some of them, yeah, but see, some of them they might figure that they're rescued, because they from the ants, and now that they. Of course, I mean, think of it this way. How many of those people are going to be able to, even though they showed people returning to, how many humans are really going to accept the chimeras going back into the human population?
Right, yeah. So they're kind of just militarize them.
Yeah, they're trapped. And they're like, hey, you can't go back. We know you can't go back. So you have these special powers, so we'll take care of you, right?
Right. Makes sense.
So he's still, Periston's still got that. So he's going to get to the Dark Continent, or I guess they said they're going to get to some islands that are there, which kind of makes sense before they actually reach it. So, and then like I say, he's still got, so we've got the trip there, that they're going to be on a boat. It's going to take some time, and we got whatever's going to happen on the boat with Kropika and all that stuff. And we haven't even got to on the boats yet, right?
Yeah.
And there was a whole bunch of other stuff. So I open it up. You want to talk about the anime? You want to talk about the chapter? What do you want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about?
I actually didn't have time to watch the anime this week. What happened?
Well, we covered it before you got on.
Well, I gave you a brief overview.
It was okay. Well, it was basically Fallout. It's basically they're getting sick.
Did the king get sick?
Yeah. They've all got sick. It's the radiation, the fallout.
Okay.
We're trying to figure out how Palm knew that they were going to die soon. And Sean helped me through that. So that got worked out.
It pretty much showed how the king is still looking around for pieces in the room get his
Yeah.
memory back, and
Yeah.
he sees this little, what is
Yeah.
it, a martial piece, and he's like slowly getting his memory back, and then you have Poof trying to find the little girl and try to kill him before.
Yeah, so it's just basically that stuff. It was an okay chapter, but one of the things that was interesting was brought up, which it isn't really done yet, is that the whole thing, um, Yuppie dying, like uh, Pito dying was like a big deal, right? And Yuppie dying was like, okay. It was
Maybe
kind of,
because he was like little or something.
yeah, it was kind of skipped over in this thing, so it felt weird this episode. But anyway, it was okay. It kind of got bogged down a little bit toward the end because they were kind of discussing things they've already covered. But
Well, there was another part because I think the king got his memory back. 'Cause remember when Wolf came back and tried to explain to him that they were still enemies coming back? The king draw what is it? A drawing board.
yeah,
And he said, since you defaulted the contest, you mean I win. So Wolf has to tell the king everything that happened here. That's
Yeah.
where it left off at.
right. So we're that's where we're at. So, but the chapter, right? That the anime, and then, but the chapter was crazy. Like I said, it blew my mind. I guess now I've seen it 6 times.
It was a good chapter because it's like, really like psychological with the villain. It's just weird because it's like we're seeing the villain in front of our eyes, but it's like he's on the side of justice, you know?
Sorta.
Well, I'm saying like he's on the
Well, it's
good
complex.
side,
Let me say something. Okay, go ahead. Now I'm going to say something real
I'm
quick.
just saying the Hunter organization is an organization that's like, a good organization, right? For the most part. I mean, and he's like in control of it, but you can clearly see he's a psychopath and he just wants to inflict misery and pain. So, and he obviously has dark plans for this dark continent, So, and we know because Togashi is confirming it with Gin. The way Gin is looking at him, and like that's just confirmation that at some point this guy's going to go nuts and be the villain, And Gin is trying to keep him in check, or try to. And it's kind of like a game between Gin and him now,
Let me just throw this in here to support what you're saying. Writing, okay, actors play complex characters. Extreme characters are easy for actors to play, right? Villains that are just evil and people are just good. Complex characters are difficult for actors that aren't really skilled to do. Writing the same way. Anything extreme, I'm evil and I burn everything and kill everything. I'm nice and I'm good. It's the complexity that's hard to write, right? And so at the same time, Ging and Paris are like, okay, you and I are similar in these ways. When we get bored, we start causing trouble because we just want something interesting to happen. Okay, and then the divergence because Pariston's pretty warped. His ideas of love and everything. So that's really just what I wanted to add on there. But go ahead and because there's a lot in this chapter, right? I mean, so like you say, Pariston is you think he's the villain or you think he's a villain?
I think the seeds are being laid to show that he's going to have a diabolical influence, in the fights to come. Like I mean, they'll probably find a villain in the Dark Continent that is or a power or something, and he'll probably be the one to try to grasp it, and try to use it for the wrong purposes. Something like that. Something's going to happen where he's going to get involved and he's going to pull the string, pull the wool over everyone's eyes. That's just what I see.
I like where you went with this. You know why? Because why does he care if Beyond is in the Dark Continent? He, like you say, there's something specific that Pariston wants out of there, right? And Beyond knows what it is, and he's trying to go there to get it himself. So that's why he wants to stop. Because why else does he give a darn? Why does he care about Beyond? Why is he such? I've got to stop Beyond because he knows what it is.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
He looks like a double agent to me.
Who does?
Preston.
Yeah. Yeah. I like I say, I am so stoked about this arc. We got because we're bringing the Chimeras with us, and now the only thing is do you guys think, excuse me, that the Phantom Troop's going to be in on this?
I
think
hope so.
he's got to bring them back at some point. Yeah. He's got the whole thing with the leader that has to get resolved. Where the leader gets rid of the curse, and then because he's bringing Kurapika back. I mean, the whole thing with the eyes, all that stuff. That's all to connect Kurapika to the Phantom Troop again. So I'm almost positive they'll be back within a relatively short amount of time. They'll probably be in the Dark Continent because maybe they'll have to go there to get the curse lifted or something.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Kurapika and the Phantom Troop had to work together to defeat something?
Huh, I don't think he could do that.
That'd be he'd have to progress a long way from where he was, wouldn't he?
That pretty much explains what Michael said.
Yeah.
Because he has to overcome his dark side, and what you said, like, he's not going after the Phantom Troop, he just wants the eyes back. So there's kind of like no hard feelings towards him, if that was say to happen.
Yeah, but I would say that just because he's not searching for him doesn't mean he doesn't have any hard feelings. So I don't know, man. The complexity is killing me. How's it going, Anthony? Glad you made it.
Oh, no problem. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we've already covered a lot, but I mean specifically, the anime was kind of what the anime was. I mean, if there's a couple things there, whatever, but I'm trying to stick more to the manga.
No, the meat. I think the meat of this week of Hunter was in the chapter. That was where everything happened that was relevant in the Hunter universe, in my opinion. Great stuff. This is probably my favorite chapter since the re-upping of the manga.
It's
very
exciting where this is all going, isn't it?
Oh man, I'm stoked, and I had to read a couple synopses or synopsises or however you say it, because there's so much dialogue in the last two chapters, and it's hard to find a good translation. And when you have that much dialogue and you don't have a good translation, it's not a good mix at all. You know what I'm saying? So I had to try to read a couple different translations and read some things on it, and then watch a couple reviews online to actually grasp the story, because it was just going in one ear and out the other for a while.
Okay. Well, anything stick? Anything?
About this chapter?
Yeah, I mean, what about this chapter grabbed you? What did you just go, wow?
Man, Pearson is one. He is one messed up individual. That is, he's definitely got something wrong. I don't think he's a villain per se, though. I think his role in the upcoming arc is going to be sort of the same role that Hisoka played, kind of like a rogue element, like a wild card. Like he doesn't seem like he has any other goals than to just ruin people's lives. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how Hisoka was, but in his case, it was more, I want to find people to fight. I get off on that kind of thing, so that's what I'm looking for. I'll hinder and help you as long as it gets me to my goal of fighting this strong person or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I see Pearson. That's how I see his role in the next arc. I could be wrong. He may be more. It may be less gray and more black and white with his standing. So I don't know. We'll see. We need more.
Well, what happened is right in this chapter, because we already covered it. Let's make this real quick. Is him and Ging, as you read, they're both like, how are we similar, right? Mm-hmm. And they're both. And Ging is explaining to him. He's like, yeah, okay. When you get bored, you start trouble. Okay, yeah. Ging is that kind of person. If he's bored, he's going to start trouble, and then get into a conflict and do whatever. And so they keep going, and he's even we're the same, and then when Paris breaks down, when I am hated by people, that's when I feel happiness. And then I want to tear apart and inflict unimaginable harm to the things I love. And there's a doll, and this is important because Sean and Mike showed me, and the doll is significant because that seems to be his ability. I was really stumped later why, after the whole question of, the two nobodies in here were asking questions, or the two thugs, and the purpose of that was in the whole thing. And I saw that doll, and I'm like, what is this supposed to be? And it was and that's when Sean and Michael had been telling me what he's a manipulator, right? And that doll is probably part of his ability.
Yeah, I got to read it again because I'm not recalling this, but I read through it only once. So.
Oh, this is I guess this was 6 times. Just going through it here. Now I'm like,
Hunter needs to be read more than once, and I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm definitely gonna look for that though.
Oh, okay.
Because that sounds pretty interesting. Yeah, if it is some kind of doll, what would that make him either an emitter or a manipulator or a conjurer or something like that?
Well, Sean's going with manipulator.
It's either manipulator or a conjurer because it's the same thing with how Kurapika tricked the troop into thinking that he was a manipulator when he was actually a conjurer.
Right. I don't think we've ever seen a manipulator yet, have we?
Not that I know. No, we did because that guy who he had the tops. Remember, he had the tops in the Heaven's Arena. Who Gon fought? He was like he had like that pogo as a leg, and he used those spinning tops to like go around and.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That I think he was the only one that we've seen, but Hisoka is a transmuter though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but that's I don't know. I gotta go back and look at that. By far, my favorite part of this chapter was the things with all the stuff with Kurapika. How long has it been since we've seen those chains? It's been chapters and arcs that and as soon as it was just classic Hunter. You know what I'm saying? One of those things where as soon as his brother's eyes are brought up, he flips his shit, and it was nice seeing that again because the election arc has a lot of these new characters, and all the stars of the, I guess Killua was there.
Well, that's another thing about the Chimera Ant arc. It was so long, and like throughout that whole arc, we missed a lot of characters.
Yeah, we did. That's and it's a great arc, but man, I tell you what, because I just recently rewatched everything, and being able to see, Kurapika and Leorio, it was nice being able to see them again, and I didn't realize how much I missed them until I started rewatching it, and so it's glad to have them back and have them be in a center position in the arc.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Phantom Troop even have kind of like a part to play, because I don't. Based on the end of the York New City arc, he kind of had like the opinion that, or he was kind of convinced by Gon and Killua that I don't need to be killing these people or getting revenge. It's just going to consume me. I got to focus on getting all the Curtis eyes back. That's what I really need to do. So I think the next time we see them, it'll be more of a thing where they're trying to kill him because not only did he take out Uvagin, but he kind of sort of took out Pakunoda, but it wasn't directly. He took her out with his Nen blade thing that wrapped around her heart. So it's 2 members that was taken out by him, and we've already seen that the troop hold grudges very easily.
Yeah. Like I was saying before.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was saying before that the last time Kurapika saw them, he thought that the leader was taken care of forever. He'll never be involved again, and Gon and Killua kind of like talked him out of. They kind of like softened his heart, saying like, let it go. And so now he still hates them, but now he's not out to kill them anymore. It feels like he destroyed their organization.
Yeah, well, we know that I believe Krollo's Nen has been removed because at the end of Greed Island they found a Nen remover, that one guy who summoned that beast.
Yeah, but Killua doesn't know. Kurapika doesn't know that.
No, he doesn't know that, but I know. I'm guessing that because Hisoka's the one who found him. I think they got him to find that Nen remover.
Yeah.
And he's the one that used that beast to like get Genthru's bomb off him. He had him like eat it. And then at the end of the arc, you see him like, I'm going to make a bunch of money off this Nen removal thing. So I'm guessing they hired him to get it off.
Yeah.
And So, and another reason I don't think they're going to be involved is because they don't really care unless there's something to be stolen. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's
Okay.
wealth in the Dark Continent, but I don't
Yes,
know.
let me interrupt just a second here.
Go ahead.
That's how I think they're going to get involved. As a matter of fact, they may even be hired by the king of, I can't remember, that one kingdom. The ones we got the king and the royal family and the fourth prince and all this business.
Kakin.
They might even be on the ship being guards or something like that. Because there's too much wealth and stuff over there supposedly on this dark continent. I think that either another faction or there'll be the king himself or the princelings or whatever pull them in as bodyguards or something.
It's possible, but I don't think they're the type of people that are hired. What I'm saying, they're that kind of people. If they see something, they're just going to take it. I mean, Uvigan at one point even says that I dislike the concept of money because if I want something, I just take it.
So you're saying they'll be their own faction?
Pretty much. I think if they're going to be involved at all, it's going to be of their own volition. It's not going to be because they're hired or anything. And who knows if they'll even be all there, because at the start of York New, they were mentioning that how long has it been since we all gathered in one place, and it had been like years.
Yeah.
So, and they're always scattered, and all throughout Greed Island, there was only bits and pieces of them, and even that little chunk in the Chimera Anarch, there was only, I don't know, like a third or maybe 3/4 of them. There's a bunch of members missing. So, I don't know. It's crazy stuff. There's so many possibilities. My mind was blown when I found out that all of civilization is in the middle of a lake, and everything around it is the Dark Continent.
Yeah.
That just blew my mind. I was like, holy crap. Because, in all these other stories, it's like, this half is this and the other half is that. Like, like the East Blue, and then you go across the Grand Line, and it was all that stuff. Or in Toriko, it's, there's a gourmet world and stuff like that. It's always kind of half and half. But they're a tiny chunk in the middle of this massive lake, and the rest of the world is a dark continent. It's just crazy. The possibilities are totally limitless. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so excited to see where this goes. And I really, really hope he doesn't decide to go on a hiatus again, because it's gonna break my heart.
Oh, please. Yeah, a lot of people would just have medical conditions.
Oh, man, it's gonna break my heart.
Let me throw this out here. If you don't mind, let me talk about Kite again. I want to make sure we got this. The Kite, okay, coming back, where the person that has Kite's memories, however you want to put it, is a Chimera, evidently a Chimera ant queen, and developing at a rapid pace, right, as chimeras do. And I can't help but think that eventually that Kite is going to be back in on this somehow. I think that's
have we seen? Well, I guess I gotta say her now.
You mean that Kite will get his will back, like become the old Kite?
No, I don't think it's going to happen at all. But look at all the examples we've had from the chimeras. It doesn't work that way. They don't go back to being just what they were before.
Well, Welfin did. I mean, Welfin did.
No. He's still.
There was plenty of Chimera ants that didn't totally go back, but they realized that they needed to go against these Chimera ants.
But being for and against the Chimera is they're different beings now. They're combined different beings. Their main personality may be that, but there's other factors going on, right?
Well,
I don't think he'll ever be the same, but I think that he can possibly come back to at least a form of what he used to be. Because we've seen in the last episode, Ikago and Welfin and all that stuff. A lot of these Chimera ants remember their former lives, So, and then there's some like Bravado who don't have a clue.
Right. Well, and that's it. Some of them don't have memories. Some of them like Ikago remember. He's like, I remember your name, but I'll probably never remember mine.
It's like bits and pieces, like chunks. And I don't know. I was like I said, I've been rewatching the series and seeing Kite again, and his ability is so tragic that he died.
Well, like I say, she's going to be back in a way, but so it would be.
But is he really going to be back? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, he's back, but he's not really back. We're never going to get Kite again as he was.
No.
And have we seen her, or I guess have we seen her since that one chapter with the koala bear where they were talking?
No.
No, okay, because I cruise through the manga really fast, so
No.
it's
But
kind
then
of
again,
blurry.
I think, and I think even Michael was talking, or maybe this was for Neverworld. I don't know. People were talking about. I think it was for Neverworld was saying the possibility that we won't see Gon and Killua and maybe Kite, or he didn't say Kite, but we won't see this until like the next arc, right?
Yeah, yep.
That's probably still in the Dark Continent. So that may because as you were saying, it's in a lake. So it looks like the Dark Continent's gonna be going on for a while, and then we'll probably find out it's not one continent. It's broken off into different sections, and different things are going on, right?
Yep.
Which
For
makes
sure.
sense. So yeah, this definitely looks like we got years of Hunter x Hunter to go.
Yeah, and I think it can't be. A lot of people are saying that this could be like the final arc. It can't really be the final arc. There's so much more to go, unless they do some kind of time skip. Which I think for Neverworld was the one who was mentioned that they could do a time skip to where they're already in the Dark Continent. I don't know if I would like that or not, but it's a possibility. Who knows?
Well,
I don't like that.
well, the thing is Gon and Killua are so far beyond. Well, really, so is Kurapika and Leorio on these these beasts over here. Even from the last arc, they weren't up to speed. So a time skip in a way, I could see it used for that. I mean, that's usually what time skips are used for, right? Is to power up the your heroes, something like that.
If that was the case, they should
Can't hear you.
I said, um, if that was the case, they should do a time skip with Leorio to develop his own abilities.
Well, I
He
don't mean
had
individually. I mean the whole thing time skip. I mean the whole world. Just say it's now, you know,
Oh, for everybody?
yeah. Now it's 5 years down the road or something.
so if a time skip's going to happen, everyone's going to be there.
You know what they might do is they might make the expedition to the Dark Continent not include any of the main characters, have something terrible go on there, and then we get a time skip to see the results. Of like that unfortunate incident that happened on the Dark Continent. Like maybe, as a result of what they do now, like all these unknown disasters will be unleashed upon the regular world,
And then we get a future where the regular world's all
Then we
messed
get a
up.
time skip where, we're like, all of a
That'd be
sudden
cool.
Gon and Killua are like, fighting against whatever was unleashed from the Dark Continent or, something like that.
It's so hard to predict this story because he likes to throw curveballs at you. There's so many times where I thought, when I first started watching York New, that I thought it was going to culminate in a bunch of these big battles, and then it kind of ended anticlimactically a little bit.
Mhm.
He does things that other mangaka don't usually do, and so it's hard to predict this. But that I like that idea. I would approve of that if that happened.
That
Just
would be
saying, like,
nice.
because excuse my, I'm getting a little tongue tied. Every time we've seen, Gon and Killua, like, be a part of like a major event or whatever, they always go there, like, with these other new introduced characters, They like make friends with new people or, join a new group, and then they go and they become a part of whatever the main story is going to. So instead of that, maybe just for a nice change of pace, they could not be involved with, the craziness that goes on, and then like, get involved later on because of, that the Dark Continent just breaking out and, exploding onto the world, something like that. I think that would be much better than just constantly retreading, oh, you're a guy going to the Dark Continent, we're going to join you on the boat, like, be more interesting that way. Plus, like, why confine all this evil and all this disaster, to one continent when you can really make it like a panic, if it's like right up in their faces,
Well, this continent is practically the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a big area, and
So it's
we
like,
still have yet to see the full.
maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's a reason why all this stuff is confined to that continent.
I wanted how did that big gate get there? Like who made that?
Yeah,
And then you get that Brion or whatever with the sphere head.
Yeah. In fact, you know
When
what? This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that this dark continent, there's some kind of seal there, some kind of barrier, and it's going to get broken, and all hell is going to break loose, and then the main character is going to get involved. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I hope is going to happen, anyway.
Well, this was what we talked about before. Remember Melody, the character that was changed? I know I've already brought this up before. The character that was changed because the Satan's song or the devil's song or whatever.
Yep.
Right? And all this stuff, there's like there's a definite satanic or evil deal, and then that's what it looks like. And the idea of this being sealed for good reason, right? And there's these evil characters and then are unleashed, which is exactly the kind of thing that Pariston would do, because to entertain himself, to not be bored. And Ging would eventually have done it anyhow for the same reason.
Oh, or Pariston opening Pandora's box. You know, unleashing chaos from the dark continent to the world. Just for fun.
It wouldn't surprise me if he did that too.
Yeah.
For Neverworld mentioned a theory that he had that Pariston was the one responsible for the Chimera Ant crisis.
Yes, we covered that.
I'm sorry, I wasn't here. So
no, that's good. No, that's good because that he spread out the ants. And because Ging basically says that in his chapter, he kind of implies that when the whole thing, when something gets bored or whatever, you just start creating problems.
Messing with stuff. And you'd see the Kite right at the beginning of the arc, he said they were under quarantine. And so maybe, I'd like to know. And plus, how did that, I want to know where the queen actually came from. You see her, she washed up on that shore, and she was all injured. I think we covered this in a previous hangout. Who was saying that they thought that Jing was the one that like messed her up or something? 'Cause she was missing like a leg or something. Did somebody mention that, or was that somewhere else I'm thinking?
I'm not really following you, but I am on the part about it being Pariston. On this part, I do unleashing him around the world, because I think they've dealt with the Chimera before. They just hadn't dealt with them that had Nin abilities. That's what threw the hunters off. So Pariston was doing this, but they implied this. The discussion that went on between Pariston and Ging, implied that this is probably what happened. And now they've got Nin abilities. Pariston, because he's been following this anyhow, he knows he didn't fight or help. He just went and got the people that are in the pods, right? Evidently, there's at least 300 of them, like Palm was in, right? Those pods, those human grapes, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
So but that's just from there. Who knows? And he's been experimenting on them. And Netero was against this. Netero was against going to the Dark Continent. But that's two strikes for Pariston, or two reasons for him to want to get rid of Netero, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, I wouldn't doubt that he's already been to the Dark Continent. He seems way too familiar with this, because he's already like, okay, we're going to use this alternate route. Yeah, exactly, Sean. We're going to use this alternate route, and we're going to get there ahead of them.
Tom Pariston's been there?
Pariston, I'm guaranteed the guy's already been there. He knows too much. He just knows too much. He's way too, and like I say, why does he want to get, we discussed this with Michael when he came in. Why is he so fixated on confronting and getting rid of Beyond Netero? Why does he care? Why does he care if Beyond Netero goes to the Dark Continent? Because whatever Pariston is, at least one of his objectives, he's going over there. Beyond knows what it is, and he's trying to get it for himself.
Yeah, and Beyond kind of seems like like a trick character, like the way he's introduced. He's kind of introduced like he's like diabolical or something, but in reality, he's probably going to that continent to like save everybody or something. From Pariston, the real villain.
Do you remember when the king was fighting Netero, and he said Netero's abilities, about Netero's abilities, that he could tell that at some moment he had basically gone insane?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it was probably the Dark Continent somewhere there that Netero was able to get his. Of course, it's kind of from the video and everything he left and all that he was able to overcome and get his abilities there. And that may be, anyway, to bring it back, that may be Beyond's thing. It may not be that he's that evil. He's just that crazy himself.
Yeah, right.
I think that's what you're going for, Mike. Right?
Like a red herring, like a trick. He's trying to throw us off with him, I think. So.
And that, oh my gosh, yeah, I like that though. You guys really pointing it out that the whole thing about Pariston the doll, I couldn't understand that. Oh boy. Okay, it's a lot of interesting, a lot of good stuff in one chapter.
Mm-hmm. A lot of good discussion.
Oh my god. We talked. Remember we talked. What if Tagashi ever started his manga back again? Oh, it was too much to ask for, right?
Yeah, and here it is.
Awesome, awesome stuff.
I got something to point out.
So,
Has anybody looked at the last page of this chapter
heading there
with
now.
Gon and Hisoka?
Who?
With Gon and this guy,
The
Hisoka?
cow dude. The cow dude.
Oh,
No, not him. Gon and it's the last page. It's with Gon and Hisoka.
Ahsoka?
Yeah, and then it
Oh,
says
that color page?
yeah, it's a color page and it says only 9 days left. Like, what does that mean? Will they go back to them two in their fight?
Looks like fan art, isn't it? Fan art. And the date on that fan art is 2011.
I don't know.
Right where,
Well,
if you look at,
what
if you
site are
look
you
at,
reading it on?
if you look at, you talk about the colored picture, right? If you look at look close to Gon's eye, you'll see somebody's signature and a date.
yeah, that's totally fan art.
Oh, that's fan art? Oh, I thought it was like something that's gonna happen next week.
Nope, I think that was something that happened in 2011 by whoever this scribbly name is.
In fact, the 9 days left probably refers to like the hotel thing. You know, when they were staying in the hotel, didn't they have a certain amount of days? I think they had days back then, but they had like a quota or something. I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, that's definitely fan art.
I'm racking my brain about what chapter, or was it this chapter? At what part did Pearson express a desire to stop Beyond from going to the Dark Continent? Was that in this chapter?
Oh no, this was this one. He's gonna let me go.
What page was that on?
Let me find it.
Because I'm
Because I was on the last page, and I'm gonna.
Gosh, I should have read this more. I'm gonna read this tonight.
Oh, dude, there's a lot. Well, you're seeing how much we're extrapolating. I really appreciate you guys, man. My panel is awesome. You guys are extrapolating a lot of good stuff here.
Oh man, I've just been Hunter x Hunter all over me lately. That's all I can think about. I'll tell you what.
I kind of like rushed home today so that I could get in this panel.
And that's why I just got off work as soon as I got home. Like, I gotta plug in my phone so I can get in on this. I was hoping you guys weren't done.
I was out of state. I went to Washington. You know, I was way.
Yeah, I thought you were still out of town.
I was, yeah, and I managed to get home early.
Nice.
But, yeah, we went to The Voice tryout and stuff, and it was fun.
Excellent.
Cool.
Everything worked out. Let me read this real quick. This is Pearson. I'm firmly rejecting the idea of separating with the V5, right, and accompanying Beyond. We'll cross the ocean on a foreign, irregular route. He seems really comfortable with this.
What page?
We'll go,
Are you on Manga Stream?
I'm on Manga Stream, and it's
7.
I'm looking at page 8. Page 8 on Manga Stream. Yeah.
Okay.
And he says, we'll get to the Dark Continent one step ahead of Beyond. Wait there and declare you are being hunted directly to him. That is the real way of the original Hunter organization, is it not?
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, he's like, we're going to get ahead of Beyond. So this is critical for him to get ahead of Beyond and take him out, right?
Yeah.
He knows there's whatever the goal is that Paris, or at least one of his goals. Beyond knows about it. I like the angle that Michael threw in there, the whole thing about Beyond being crazy but not necessarily evil. I really do like that. And Pearson's crazy too. So
does he really want to stop him, or does he just want to get there ahead of him so he can just screw with him or something? Because it doesn't seem like he says we'll get there ahead of him, but he doesn't say we need to stop him from going there, does he?
He says, look, we're going to go there and declare you are being hunted.
Yeah.
Directly to him. That is the real way, right? I mean, that's what it sounds like. He sounds like you're going to take him out.
Yeah.
I don't think I do. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. I'm not doubting that.
I'll go even further. I wouldn't doubt that that he's going to try to use this as some way to get rid of the Zodiacs too.
And they must be desperate. They're asking Lorio to be in there.
Let's just be honest. That really. And I guess that means Cheadle is a doctor. that mean Cheadle, I guess, is going to be training him? Because Cheadle's a doctor, I guess, right? Because it's the only thing I can figure out.
Is she?
I guess. Has to be. Because Cheadle's like,
At
I'm going to be
least
taking you over.
she knows medical stuff.
Has to be. I'm going to be training you.
Is that what she said? I thought she said you'll just get hands-on experience.
You'll get hands-on experience. Cheadle never says, I am a doctor, but it says, somewhere in here.
Is this the girl with the dog nose? Are you talking about?
Yeah, she's the one that looks like she came out of a Goofy movie.
Yeah, Sean was saying it looks like Goofy's sister.
It looks like a chimera ant. Is that possible?
No.
It looks like a Disney character. That's what it
is.
Like.
I'm telling you, Tagashi's going to get sued. Eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. In which case, this is Cheadle, shall be the head medical professor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Over the course of your voyage, you will receive practical, hands-on medical experience, which will be immense. So I guess Cheadle's a doctor. It just makes, I don't know, but that's what it sounds like. So I don't know.
She's like a secretary type. Oh, I know she kind of has she does have like a medical cross symbol on her jacket. She probably is some kind of healing specialist.
Yeah.
You know.
I got an angle to throw at y'all. Do you think Cheeto gonna train Leorio to be a medical min user? Like Leorio's nin abilities is somewhat medical related.
He has to be some kind of top tier nin doctor when this is all over, or he just isn't going to be useful.
Yeah, because that's his theme, that he wants to be a doctor. So
they showed his ability when he attacked Jing in the election arc, didn't they? Where he kind of like punched him. He like threw he like teleported his fist up and kind of knocked him out of his chair. Do you remember what I'm talking about? In the election arc.
It could be. I don't remember. I just don't remember. It could be.
There's and then he said he's like, or you found out later that Jing kind of let him hit him. And gosh, what chapter was that?
Well, what I'm saying is even with that, even given that right there.
Well, anyway, I'm just saying it looked like an offensive ability. Like you remember that? It looked identical to the one ability that the boxer had during the contest with Razor and Greed Island, where he could warp his fist over to the other opponent. I don't know if you guys remember that. It looked identical to that, and that doesn't seem anything medical related. So maybe he'll get some kind of medical related nin ability on top of that, like sort of how Kurapika's chain thing can go around. Remember, he goes around his broken arm in the Uvigan fight and heals it instantly, sort of like that or something.
Right, and the thing is we really don't know what Leorio really brings to the table. We don't know what else he's learned. So there's more Leorio to find out, right?
Yeah, he's got such a blank canvas in front of him. I'm talking about Tagashi, obviously, that with the character, he can kind of bring him in any direction because he doesn't have. Well, I mean, he got some development in being, but not a lot. You know, he's kind of one-dimensional. You know, he wants to be a doctor and he's friends with Gun. That's pretty much all we know. We got a little snippet of his past when they were running at the beginning. How he said he wants money because if he had money, he could have saved his friend. Before. And we didn't really learn anything about that more. So there's so much there to be fleshed out with the character.
Yeah, but he just rejected his old self in this chapter. Because it says, Cheadle says, okay, let me read it right here. Okay, because that's what he wanted. He says, I want to become a doctor and make money, right? And let's see. And Cheadle says, if you're trying to become a doctor so that you can safely make money in some quiet corner of the world somewhere, then by all means turn this offer down. And then his response, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Challenge me. Bring it on. So he's past just the idea of he's just going to make money. He's down with the whole adventure thing. So that's to me, it's a lot of character progression for him.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's a lot more to go for him. He has a long way to go before he gets to the level of some of these other characters. I mean, he's pretty much the only one who hasn't had his own arc. I mean, Killua has had he's had such a central role, and Kurapika had pretty much his own arc, and Gon is the main character, so the entire series is his arc. and
Yeah,
we haven't really gotten anything centric for Leorio yet. So
yeah, because he's basically not a main. He's one of the four main characters, and basically not really, because he kind of got dumped off to not being a secondary, but not a main character. I mean, what is he? What is he really right now? He's Kropotkin's sidekick, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what he is right now. But what you're saying, there's a lot he can add on, and hopefully he will. He'll say, you know what, I've got some. It looks like he was just like stumped him. It's like Tagashi, I guess, for the other three had like tons of stuff, right? Lots of background, lots of everything, and then Leorio, not really.
yeah, it's like everyone had an established, backstory. Killua with his whole family, and Kurapika with his clan, and Gon with his past with his father being a hunter, and Leorio, we had nothing. Like I said, we got that snippet when they were running in the first phase of the hunter exam, but that's it. And I wonder if this is his attempt to listen, I'm bringing him back, and I'm going to do something with him. So don't worry, I'm not gonna neglect this character. So
I finally got it
exciting.
worked out. Well, I think that's what it is. Tagashi's like, I finally got him worked out. I finally know what to do with him. He's filled out. We can run with him now. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. And just all kind of stuff on there. Ging's mother. Who's Ging's mother? I have a feeling it's going to be amazing when we ever find that out. All kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Jing and Periston, they made it clear that they weren't going with the V6, right? Are they going to try to go over on their own?
No, they
with
said
just
they're
the
not.
Chimeras, or
No, they said they're not going to go. No, they said they're not going to go against. He doesn't want to go against the. He doesn't want to go against the V5. Okay. He wants, but he's going to go illegally, but he's not going to go in their face, and he's going to confront Beyond, which is what the V5 want to get anyhow, right?
well, if the V5 are bringing Netro over there in chains, then if they go ahead of them, aren't they going to be kind of against the organization if they're not going with them? And has the hunter organization even approved these 5,000 chimeras? You know what I'm saying? Like they're kind of like almost had their own rogue kind of journey ahead of everyone or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, that's really Periston, right? I mean, that's the thing. He's got his own rogue. He's his own rogue group within the hunters.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like when he gets there, then that's when he gonna do all the stuff that he's planning. I think he just planning stuff, trying to find different angles to get there. I think when he get there, then that's when he gonna do everything.
Pearson's got to be pretty strong. He was a 3-star hunter, right?
Yeah. They said
they said there was like
crazy
fewer
strong.
10 of them in the world or something. So he's got to be up there.
Well, right. So we got to see. Periston and Ging. We're seeing the big dogs are out there now, right? We're seeing the big stuff now. We're not seeing We're seeing the big stuff in the Dark Continent. So this is just going to be crazy. So
yeah, and I don't know how he's going to be able to. The whole Chimera Anarch is when you just you step back and you look at just as one chunk, because it's kind of isolated from the rest of the series, right? It's kind of like its own little thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard for him to top, at least.
Still there? Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me?
I'm here.
Okay, Michael's muted. Okay, he disconnected. Anthony disconnected. Michael's not here.
I get what he was trying to say. Like, I guess he's trying to figure out like how can he top this dark tongue how can he top the Chimera Ant with the Dark Continent?
Well, for me,
all these big people is like coming out, and so.
Sorry about that, guys. I got a call there.
Oh, no problem. Oh, you mean, well, let me make sure. Okay, well, you were saying, how is he going to top the Chimera Anarch? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was. Well, I mean, in my opinion, that's like the best arc so far. and this arc seems like it's on a bigger scope.
Yeah, it seems like
And
it's off the scales.
yeah, and I'm, you know, I don't know. I just,
You know how he's doing? You mean tell you how he's doing it? Because he has patience. Have you noticed how patient he is from building this stuff up, stacking this on this, stacking this on this, stacking this on this?
oh
He's
yeah,
been
he
walking
doesn't
this.
rush anything. And I wonder how long. I wonder if he was planning a lot of this during the hiatus, or he was just busy, in Dragon Quest or whatever the hell he was doing. I wonder if he just totally just picked it up after not going to it for 2 years, or he was planning stuff here and there. Like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why this series is so good, because of his frequent hiatuses.
Well, I think so, but let me. Okay, you do some writing, right?
Say again?
I said you do some writing, right, Anthony?
Yeah, not fiction, but
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, all right. Well, that's different. But could you imagine just dropping something that you were interested? I mean, let me put it this way: it's if somebody's like, okay, if someone has this much interest in something, could you imagine just like shelving it, putting it on a shelf for 2 years?
so not really, but
No, I think it's impossible. So I mean, to answer the idea or the question, I think he's been thinking all about it. Definitely. This feels flushed out, and like I said, that might even be a part of why he went on the hiatus, is because the size and scale of this, right? I mean, this is a lot of characters he's throwing in here.
yeah, it is. And I don't think this is something that you could just, go, by the, fly out around by the seat of your pants, kind of thing, where you just kind of make it up as you go. This is something that needs to be planned. There's so much politics, and there's these people who want to do this, and that person who wants to do that, and the V6 and nations and continents is so huge. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I don't think it's something he could just, well, I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to write all this. No, this is something that needs to be planned out. And I believe while he was on his hiatus, he was still he still worked as an editor in some other series. I believe I was reading an article, and I think he did some work on other series apart from his addiction to whatever the hell he was doing, World of Warcraft or whatever.
If
But
yeah.
that's the case, then I would probably say this arc probably will be better than the Chimera Ant.
I think he's like I said. This looks like to me like he's just going to keep going like Oda. This is just going to. We're going to find out that there isn't a dark continent. That there's a whole bunch of other little continents or whatever out there, and they're going to go from each one. They're going to spend time on each one, and they'll go to another one. That's what it looks like. I mean, part of that's wishful
if any
thinking.
if any of them even last long enough to be over there, I mean, look how many people returned. Well, they said it was 140 voyages, and only like 20 something people ever returned, and then only 4 or 5 of them ever were able to return to normal society. So this is some serious stuff here. It was the last chapter, I believe.
It was 7,500 people, and it was 5 different voyages, and 20 some of them came back. I guess I'm looking for some of my notes on this because I have it written down.
Well, I thought they said there was they went there like 140 something times.
Not according to my notes. It was
maybe totally
5.
making that up.
Here's my notes. Oh, okay. This is just my notes, and the notes aren't always correct. It says 5 voyages, 7,500 people, 28 survivors out of the 7,500 people. 28 survivors, and only 3 cleared for daily life.
Yep.
Okay,
it's been confirmed that Beyond went there already, right? At some point.
Yeah.
So is this a safe bet that we know who the 3 people are that came back and
well, there's Beyond, and I'm wondering if Periston's one of them. I don't know. We don't know. I don't know who the other 2 are that have been cleared for daily life.
Yeah, it says from our data and gathered logs, we know that humanity has attempted 149 times to challenge the voyage. The number of confirmed survivors totals 28 people from those 5 different voyages, but they tried to go there 105 times. That's what it was.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so one of them has to be that dude who's like immortal, right?
Well, no, I mean, these cleared for daily life means they're not being caged.
Well, I mean the 20 people.
Oh,
who
the
came
28.
back,
Yeah, the
were those
28.
dead?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
28.
immortal guy would be one of the 28. Yeah, and we're guessing, and it looks like Beyond is one of the three cleared for
Yep.
daily life. So who are the other two?
Maybe, you know what I'm thinking? Maybe he did something there, and now he needs to get back there to either retrieve it or take advantage of some seed he planted. Not physical seed, of course, but, you know, some kind of something he did. You know, hold on, guys. I gotta bow for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, to continuing what he was saying, I think it was Pariston and Netero. Then Netero went to the Dark Continent at one point.
Yes, Netero was there. Absolutely. So Netero, Beyond, and I'm just throwing Pariston in there.
Yeah, Pariston.
Because that's what I suspect. Okay. But we didn't even talk about the magical beast this time around.
Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that.
All right. Well, I want to cover one thing. We're still live. This thing we've been talking. I've got a stopwatch going. So we just passed over an hour 30 on Hunter x Hunter, which is fine. Which I'm totally down with. It just takes a lot longer for me to upload these things to 2 different channels. But
yeah.
Just like the Kill la Kill days.
Well, I don't have.
Oh, remember when we go like 4 hours?
Yeah, but I didn't have to download.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah, but those were nice. That would just it was great. It would just upload and there we go. If we could get everything working right.
Yeah, that was a big challenge.
So now another thing I want to talk to you guys about a little bit, like I said before we go ahead and before I go and close out, is the magical beasts like Yuppie. Because Yuppie was, I've said this probably 20 times, was made entirely of magical beasts, and magical beasts are what typically they've used to transport themselves, right? So that's going to be kind of, instead of ships, so that's going to be kind of, or they have to use them once they get to the Dark Continent. They have to use magical beasts. So the magical beasts are going to be, what are the magical beasts, right?
When did they even mention them? That's the first time I'm hearing them. Magic beasts?
Oh, yeah. What was it in... Yeah, remember they had talking about the blue whale and all that business and everything? I think it was the last chapter. They were talking about using magical beasts for transportation to the Dark Continent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I totally forgot about it.
See, there was so much going on in these chapters. It's so easy to miss stuff.
Yeah.
Like until Steve broke it down for me, I totally missed all that stuff with Pariston talking about how he wants to hunt, Beyond and everything. It just went, like I said, right over my head, and that's why it's so important to read these so many times and find a good translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't like Fairy Tale, which I can enjoy, but it takes me 5 minutes.
Oh,
so
yeah,
5 minutes of it. Yeah, right. I get 5 minutes. I get 5 minutes of enjoyable. It looks good. I have fun. It's 5 minutes are done.
Fairy Tale is a snack. Hunter is like a full course meal.
Oh yeah. This is
then some.
Yeah, and then snacks and yeah. It's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah. That's and I think we need that kind of series around here. A lot of the big ones are very easy to get through quickly, like, especially Bleach. I'm not going to go on a tangent, but those chapters are super, super short.
Oh my God, Kubo
makes
like a page of white.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to derail us, but it's bad. So, but yeah, I like getting these kind of chapters, and that's why I want to. That's also not to derail us again, but that's why I want to get caught up to One Piece, because I heard Oda just goes into so much crap, or not crap per se, but just so much stuff in his chapters. There's a lot of dialogue in them.
He packs a lot of stuff in there. All right, well, now this is okay. It looks like we're definitely veering off of Hunter x Hunter. We've done it over an hour and a half. Last call. Is there anything Hunter x Hunter manga wise here you guys want to try to explore or talk about or throw out that we haven't covered or you haven't brought up or something like that?
If that gate that's guarded by that sphere-headed dude.
Yeah.
If the Dark Continent is this big, I mean, is there like a wall around all of it? I mean, what's, what I'm saying? If it's just one door at one point, is that the only entrance in there? Is just a barrier or something? I mean, I don't understand the point of the door if the continent's that large and it's only one door. I don't know if you guys are following me.
Sure. Well, of
But
course, it was like the door with the Zoldycks and all that. Why don't you just go over the over
well,
the
I mean,
over the
how
gate?
big? I'm wondering if there's like a wall that's around everything in this dark continent. If there's that big door there,
I,
because of course the door would be kind of redundant if you could just go 50 miles
well,
on the shore and then.
Well, I think you're getting to. I think the part of the dark continent a lot of people have been trying to go to is whatever that. This gets us to what everybody's been talking about before. There's what was it? There's a shrine or there's an ancient site. Okay, and I think that site specifically is what people keep trying to go to get something. And there's
Yeah.
guardians there, so I think that's what's going on. So I think that it's really this tiny little part of the dark continent that people have been zeroing on to get whatever.
Hmm.
So I think that's what it is. I think that's the gate. I think that's the whole deal. Because there's something there, and evidently people know there's something there. But I do like the idea that things will be unleashed on humanity. Because you notice they said, what was the last chapter? They went and they've sit there for like 1 3/4 chapters or something. They're telling us how horrible and over crazy this is. Like a normal person couldn't survive there at all. And then to justify it because people see they're going to make money from it, there's going to be profit. They're like, oh, well, they start downplaying. They say, oh, well, we can, the problems aren't such a big deal. We can manage it. We can do all this kind of stuff. And they're actually talking about sending people 200,000 at a time on ships, right?
Yeah. Well, they're it sounds like they're trying to colonize it.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
Which is insanity. Based on the historical records. Why? Yeah, I don't understand. Well, is this these 200,000 people on the ships? This isn't for a while, right? They want to send the hunter organization over there first, correct?
Well, see, the problem is the king of Kakin is like got these ships and he's wanting to mass produce ships and send people over.
Yeah.
So the king of Kakin is like wanting to conquer the dark continent and just colonize it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. Either he doesn't understand or he's doing it intentionally.
Well, I think. Well, that country is where Bian is from, correct?
He's allied with him. I don't think he's from there.
Okay. Well, if
He's
he's
allied.
allied, he may be kind of pulling his strings, sort of, because he wants to get over there so badly. And it may be one of those things that, if I can't get the hunter organization to agree with what I want to do, I'm going to force the king to go over there, and I'll just get over there that way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound like I said, it sounds like the king is just doing it for pride, to be the king that conquered it sounds like it's kind of going that way.
Or that,
the
yeah.
glory, So it looks like between the money and the glory, a lot of people are motivated to do crazy, ridiculous, and outrageous things that are dangerous. And that's kind of what it looks like. All right, I think anything else real quick? Anything at all? Anything we haven't covered, basically?
I was gonna say I just wanted like a clarification. So the King of Kakin he's gonna be accompanied by the V5, right? Isn't it the same people that they had that boardroom meeting on the last chapter?
Well, they're wanting to become the V6 because he's like the continent that's not in with the other continents, and they're talking about now bringing him in.
Yeah, apparently the V5 are like, okay, if we don't bring them in to our organization, then they're just going to go off and do their own thing. So we can't have that. So we're going to bring them in, and we're going to be the V6, so we can at least have some control over what they do, or at least some kind of, look into their plans or something. Because if they just let them stay over there isolated, then they're going to go over there and screw everything up. So.
Okay. Oh,
so that's
okay.
the thing. So that's why they want to bring them in, and I don't think, and they must be a powerful country because the V5, if I don't think they would even consider bringing them in there if they could just go over there and be like, listen, just if you go over there, we're going to destroy you. Obviously, they can't say that because they must be a powerful entity in the world. So let's bring them in. It's sort of like the United Nations. If you can't stop them, invite them into your organization so you have some control over what they're doing. At least that's my interpretation.
Oh, okay. because I was seeing a little conflict because with Karabakh, it looks like he's going after the king. And if the king is being accompanied with the V5, it's like V5 plus 1.
Well, it's that fourth prince that has the eyes.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go against the V6 as well.
Yeah, Karabika. It's going to be interesting to see what what his deal is.
From my notes, yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but from my notes, from my old notes, it's like there's 5,000 Chimera hands.
Yeah, and those are the pods left over
Yeah, I'm assuming
that
that's
were in the
what they were.
trees?
Yeah, I'm assuming that. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
And
of course,
these people are all going to be like Palm, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be soldiers. All right, well, let me go ahead and close this out. We really covered a lot of territory. According to my stopwatch, it's an hour and 40 minutes. I appreciate everyone listening. It's going to be posted on both my channels. I'm going to put links down below on both of them. I got my Hunter x Hunter channel owned, that's just for Hunter x Hunter stuff. And I got my main anime channel, Rampage. I appreciate everybody listening, and I especially appreciate everyone helping me to understand what's going on with the chapter and the anime, because you guys are awesome and you guys help really. I'm just an average fan. We pull together and we start really exploring and teasing this stuff out, and we get a lot further. So I just appreciate you guys big time.
All right. I appreciate you.
All right. Until next time.
All right, guys. Peace.
Go ahead, Michael.
No, I just said take care. Great chat. Awesome. Peace.
Thanks. Until next time. Take care.